Hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Cake, and today I'm going to be reading some chapters of the story I write. I write and post stories onto AO3. Today I'm going to be reading the first 10 chapters of one of my stories called Admin Tommy. On AO3, the chapters are not in chronological order, but they will be here. Now, without further ado, let's get on to the story. Chapter 1. Tommy joins the DSMP. As Tommy was in the in-between, the space between servers, he remembered his last conversation with the server's admin. 1 week ago. Wait, so you want me to be your co-admin? Tommy repeated incredulously. The figure nodded. Yes, I have seen your past work. Others might find you annoying, but I see someone who could find the best in people, someone who could lead without corruption, someone who knows when to put their emotions aside. So yes, that's why I choose you, Tommy. Okay, fine. I'll join, but I'm not as good as you say I am. I don't know how to lead, nor do I want to. The best leaders are the ones who don't want to lead. You may not be the best now, and I'm not expecting you to be. You're still growing. I'm just saying what I think you can be. Did you just call me a child? The figure laughed softly. Maybe. But if a child is someone who is growing in some way, then everyone is a child. You never stop growing. The figure looked down at the communicator. I have to get going soon. This may be the last time we speak before you join, but I ask one last thing of you. Okay? Don't tell anyone that you're co-admin. They might treat you differently. And this way, you can figure out if anyone is not fit to be on the server. If people believe you're a regular citizen like them, they won't act the same around you as they would me. But my time is up. You remember everything I told you? Of course. You can count on me. The figure nodded and sped away. Dream, Tommy whispered. It sounded like a secret that got swept away by the wind. At that, Tommy walked the other way, away from the admin who had a mask on every part of his life. But just this once, let Tommy see behind the mask, to the man who laid underneath. Chapter 2. Arrow Duel. Before the duel. Dream looks calm and collected, but a look inside his mind says a different story. He didn't know what Tommy was going to do. He knew that whatever the outcome of this duel is going to be, him and Tommy will talk afterwards. That being said, with the whole war going on, he didn't know if Tommy was acting, exaggerating his emotion, or if he truly believes Wilbur. If that last option was true, then Tommy could just use his admin powers in this fight. Dream takes a deep breath. He could tell that all he was doing is running in circles. To distract himself, he started looking over code. It was 2 days before the duel, so he had time to look over his equipment later. For now, mind-numbing tasks are what he needs. After an hour of scrolling through code and making minor fixes here and there, he gets an alert on his communicator. He looks at the device quizzically. He double-checks and, yep, the thing's on Do Not Disturb. That must mean Tommy messaged him. A wave of anxiety washed over him, and he had to put the offending device down to calm his breathing. When his breathing calmed to a normal-ish rate, he debated on just ignoring the message till the next day. That was until it beeped again. Groaning, he grabbed the communicator and opened it before he could think twice. What he read made him pause. Tommy Innit DMs. Big man, you've been aggressively coding for an hour. You good? Big man, I know you heard your communicator go off, but if you don't want to talk right now, that's fine. Just make sure you eat and drink something. Can't have you lose the duel because you couldn't take care of yourself. Dream smiled, face exposed in the safety of his room. Tommy Innit DMs. Blob. Aww, you do care. Big man, keep telling yourself that. Either way, know that I'll still be co-admin after tomorrow. Whether I win, like I will, or I lose, not gonna happen. You can't get rid of me that easily. Reading that message, Dream can tell that Tommy was still being himself, just the calmer version that not many got to see. And seeing how Tommy pointed out and reassured his worries made him even more sure that, yes, Tommy is the perfect co-admin. Relaxing his body, Dream typed up a reply. Tommy in it DMs. Blob. Thanks. I needed to hear that. Blob. And in no way are you winning. Keep dreaming, child. Big Man. How dare I? Tommy is not a child, nor will he lose to the hands of a blob. Blob. Ironic. The shapeshifter calling me a blob. Seems like you're the one who would be mistaken for a Ditto. Big Man. There is nothing wrong with Ditto. Chatting back and forth, the two didn't realize how long they'd been communicating. That was until Dream yawned and looked at the time. Tommy in DMs. Blob. Shh. It's midnight. Big Man. Wait, what? Oh, it is. Old men like you probably need sleep, right? Blob. Hey, I'm not that old. Phil says the old one. Please don't tell him I said that. Please. Blob. But no, I do actually need sleep. But if I'm sleeping, so are you. So go drink some water and go to sleep. Big Man. Okay, fine. But same goes to you. Drink water, eat something, and sleep. Blob. Fine. Good night. Big Man. Good night. After Dream put his communicator down, he got up from his desk, went over to his chest, and got ready for bed. Settling into bed, some food and water in his stomach, and as calm as a mind as he can get right now. 9 sheep later, and Dream was in the land of dreams. The next day was a blur. Both sides checking their equipment and talking to others. By the time either of them had any free time, it was sundown and they were tired. All that was said between the two admins was a simple good luck. Day of the duel. Tommy and Dream both left their respective houses early. Then they met up in the admin place. This was a place in space and time. You have to be an admin to get in there, or an admin has to TP you in themselves. Admin places look different on every server, but on this one it took the look of a house. It looked like a cottage on the inside and had the feeling of home. Tommy and Dream were sitting on the couches in the living room. Tommy decided to break the constricting tension in the room. So, no mask today? Dream looked startled and said, Nah, I'm too worked up right now. I'll just hyperventilate if I try and wear my mask right now. Oh, not what Tommy was thinking Dream's answer was going to be. Then he tries to think of ways to calm Dream down. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. What? Choose one, you blob. 1, 2, or 3. 2. Okay then, get your butt up, we're making cookies. Oh, okay then. After an hour of making cookies, food fights, and the two talking, they decided to clean up and get to the duel. The best part about the admin place is that it's outside of time, which means that they can return to the exact moment they left. They can't return sooner, but they can return later than what they left, if they want to. When they returned, they stayed in the shadows. They were at the arranged dueling grounds, just out of sight of everyone else. As everyone gathered for the duel, either going to Tommy's side or Dream's, there was one thing that the Lambergians saw. Erit was on Dream's side. She wasn't wearing their uniform and was talking to Sapnap. Finally realizing that they're being stared at, Erit turned around and saw the look of betrayal on his old country's faces. Looking guilty, she then turned around quickly and started to talk with Sapnap again. Watching from the sidelines, Tommy made a mental note to go talk to Erit later. Not only were they rocking those platform boots, but also about the guilt that was painted on her face. Just as Tommy was going to message Dream about it, a horn blew, signaling that the duel was starting. As Tommy and Dream stood facing each other, mask firmly on Dream's face, they shook hands. They turned around and walked 10 paces from each other. When he reached 10 paces, he stopped and waited for the firework to go off. When it did, both admins turned and fired, but only one arrow flew true. As everyone watched in horror and glee, Dream fell to the ground. An arrow was sticking right through his chest, straight where his heart is. Dream soon poofed into a cloud of dust, leaving a bow behind. The Lambergians swarmed Tommy. He stood still, like he was still in shock. And he was. He knew that his arrow was going to fly true. He wasn't shocked about killing Dream. They spar enough to be at the same level fighting-wise. No, what shocked him is where Dream's arrow went. Dream is a perfect shot. The only reason Tommy didn't get hit was because Dream missed him on purpose. What Tommy couldn't figure out is why. Everything after that is a blur. Because of Tommy's state of shock, everyone decided to talk about the terms of L'Manberg's independence another day. When Tommy came out of his state of shock, it was sunset. The first thing he did was grab his communicator, ignoring all the other messages on it. He opened up his DMs with Dream. Dream DMs. Big man. Admin please? In an instant, he got a reply. Dream DMs. Blob. Please, I think we both need cuddles and to talk it out. Tommy then TP'd to the admin place and landed on his side of the couch when Dream was on the other. Tommy instantly crawled over to Dream and hugged him. Dream hugged back instantly. They decided to talk it out another day. Tonight, they just needed to cuddle and relax. Chapter 3. The Chat Prank. Dream and Tommy are sitting around the fire. Hey, Dream. Dream makes a questioning hum. Can I add something to the server code as a prank? What would your prank do? When someone says something in chat, it appears backwards. Oh my god, yes, the chaos. Thanks. No problem, Tommy. You're a co-admin of the server for a reason. You bring spice to the server. Rambo then comes out from behind a tree. Wait, you're co-admin? Tommy fell off the back of his log. Ow! How are you so loud? And yes, I am. Wait, how'd you get here? I'm an Enderman wolf hybrid. Wait, so you have other powers too? Tommy asked, voice and eyes full of curiosity. Yeah, normally I can use Silk Touch on everything I pick up, but I haven't been able to do that since I got here. I'll check that out. Tommy, why don't you get started on working on your prank? Okay, Dream. Do you want to stay for a bit, Rambo? It'd be great to have more than just the green blob to talk to. Hey, I'm no blob, Dream exclaimed, faking sounding hurt. Sure, Tommy drawled out. Sure, I'll sit with you guys for a bit. Not like I have anywhere else to be, Rambo replied. Yay! You can take the log. I'm gonna lay on the grass to set up this prank. 3 hours later. End chat. Turbo _ Obnar knees annual at Turbo _ Jack Hick bit Stat If Nikki Twat Quackity Twat It Nip BBH I knew Turbo _ BBH Niffen with Tommy. Tommy is rolling on the floor laughing. Dream is a tea kettle, and Rambo is trying to hold in his laughter. Wait, it censors messages too? It sure does. Translation for the chat. Turbo's first message. Has anyone seen Rambo? Turbo's second message. Wait, what is up with chat? Nikki. What? Quackity. Curse. The what? BBH. Language. Turbo. Random collection of symbols. BBH. You muffin. Chapter 4. Hermitcraft Crossover Part 1. All the hermits were at the bottom of the stairs of Green's mansion. All that they knew was Green asked all of them to be here at the same time. Once all the hermits were there, they started to talk. Just normal conversations like, do you know why we're here? How's your base coming along? Why is there random bell noises at my base? Until the grand door of the mansion opened up. Hello all! You're probably wondering why I called you here, and the answer is simple. I have finally finished the inside of my mansion. The end of Green's speech. Everyone clapped and said words of praise. Come in, come check it out. Green explained with his normal energy. Everyone either flew up the stairs or walked. After everyone was inside and gathered around the giant fireplace, Green clapped his hands together to get everyone's attention. So, this is my mansion. Now, being the great host that I am, would anyone like any refreshments? Just as B-Dubs was about to speak, a horrible noise punctured the room. It sounded like nails on a chalkboard, mixed with just the worst ripping sound imaginable. As soon as everyone brought their hands up to cover their ears, it stopped. The only evidence that the sound was real was a rip in space and time inside the fireplace. Everyone started to slowly back away from the fireplace, only for Green to get sucked into the rip. Everyone shouted out Green's name, all coated with concern. Then, without speaking, everyone decided to go into the rip, either to save Green, or at least make sure he's not alone. Chapter 5. Hermitcraft Crossover Part 2. With Green. Ah! Wait, I have wings. Green then proceeds to unfurl his wings and slowly glide to the ground. When he lands, he takes a good look around him. From the sky, he could see what looks to be a camp next to the ocean, so he starts walking east. As he's walking, he hears screaming. He looks up and sees multiple hermits falling. Green yelps and speed walks backwards. As more hermits appear in the air, they seem to remember that they do indeed have elytras and start to glide down. When they were all semi-safely on the ground, there were like 2 or 3 piles of hermits. The land is hard for some. Everyone was talking and trying to figure out where they are. So I don't feel my admin powers, so we aren't in hermitcraft anymore, X said, causing a thick blanket of silence to fall over the hermits. At least until Green spoke. Well, I saw what looked like a campsite to the east. It was next to an ocean, so if anything we have a source of food. I was about to head that way until you peps fell from the sky. Everyone looked around at each other and collectively said, "Let's go then." One trek through the woods later, the hermits came across the clearing with a campsite farther along the clearing. The hermits decided to take a break. Everyone spread out, staying closer to the woods that they just exited from and never further from arm's reach from another hermit. After a couple of minutes and Mumbo and Iskal's conversation getting louder, making all the hermits sigh either mentally or audibly, their sighs held only amusement and friendly annoyance for the pair. And from the looks of it, Green was about to join the pair's conversation. That is, until he jumps up, tense, with an axe in his dominant hand. Let him go. Green's voice was harsh. Almost all the hermits froze on their spots. They'd never heard Green like this. And what made him take on such a demanding tone anyway? Well, the answer was standing behind Mumbo. For while he was deep in his conversation with Iskall, he didn't hear the footsteps behind him. Next thing Mumbo knows, he's a hand covering his mouth and a blade at his neck. Eyes wide with panic, it looks to everyone else that he is pleading Green not to pick a fight. But Green wasn't looking at him. He was looking straight into black eyes. The face these eyes were resting on wasn't a face at all, but more of a mask. A white mask, to be specific. One with a crude, smiley face. Anyone with even a hint of knowledge of modern PvP would be laying their weapons down and begging for their lives. For the player that was under the mask was none other than Dream, one of the best PvPers, topped only by Technoblade. But Green was not like other people. He knew that in PvP he may not win against Dream, but he can stall Dream long enough for his friends to get away. So Green stared down the mask, repeating his words from before, his voice harsher this time. I said, let him go. Before Dream could make a reply, another figure burst from the woods. The figure, not seeing the group of people, started to whine at the legendary PvPer. Dream! Why are you taking so long? As the figure was whining, they opened their eyes. When they saw that Dream had a hostage, they tensed up. They started to properly look around then. Scanning over the faces and bodies of the hermits, it seemed that the more people they saw, the tenser they got. That was until their eyes landed on Green. As Green made eye contact with the mysterious figure, his eyes watered. Tommy? Chapter 6. Hermitcraft Crossover, Part 3. A wave of shock fell over the clearing. After a minute or so of total silence and looks of befuddlement on everyone's faces, Dream spoke. Wait, Tommy, you know this? Dream looked at Green quizzically. Oh, I use he, him pronouns. Green answered quickly. Man? Dream finished off what he was saying before. Yep. Also, him and his friends won't hurt us, unless we hurt one of them, so please let Mumbo go. Dream started off proudly and slowly tapered off into uncertainty. Okay, there you go. Did I cut you? If I did, I'm sorry. It was just meant to be threatening. As Dream was speaking, he let Mumbo go and started to fret over him. Dream, leave Mumbo alone. You are going to give him whiplash from your mood changes alone. And they are a grown adult. That's it. Just back away. So sorry about him. At the time he was done reprimanding Dream, he turned to the rest of the group. Does anyone have any injuries? We don't have much, but we could try and help you if you do. Most of the hermits' faces were frozen. Then X spoke up. I don't think any of us are hurt. but could you please tell you who you are and where we are? Also, how do you know Green? Oh, yeah, sorry, I forget basic manners sometimes. My name is Tommy, and the one in the mask is Dream. We both use he, him pronouns. You are in the Dream DSMP. Just so you know, both me and Dream are the admins of the server. I know Green because of MCC. Any questions? I have one. This time Green spoke up. Go ahead. We will try and answer the best we can. Tommy, definitely looking more and more like a peacekeeper, responded. How did Dream go from being scary to being a mother hen? This does not it doesn't match his reputation at all. Hey, I'm not a mother hen. Dream backed down when he saw Tommy's glare. Okay, maybe I am a little. I just want to make sure that my server is safe. And my reputation? Not many people know that I'm a worrywart. Most people on the server only know me by my reputation still. Does that answer your question? Yep. Also, why are you two still standing? Sit down. We're all friendly. Green sat down as he was speaking and patted the ground. I was just about to ask if you wanted to go to the campground I have set up, but I don't think everyone can fit. So, yeah, let's sit here. Come on, Dream. As Dream was sitting down and talking to Dream, he saw the masked man was already sitting down and in a conversation with Escal and Mumbo. He tried to listen in, but all he could hear was something about an omega tree? He tuned them out after that. He then turned to Green, and was surprised to see that the one with the visor, who spoke earlier, was next to Green. So, based off how the rest of your group responded when you spoke, you're the leader, aren't you? Or at least everyone thinks of you as such? X jumped a little when he realized he was being talked to. Huh? Oh, I'm not really the leader. I'm just the admin. My name is Exuma. Scar is the mayor, or at least of the shopping districts. Oh, and I use he, him pronouns. I should have said that earlier. Well then, X, it's nice to meet you. Just so you know, I give everyone nicknames if I like you. But more on a serious note, how did you and your group get here? This is a whitelisted server. Grian hopped in here. Well, I invited everyone to my mansion. When everyone was inside, a whip opened up and pulled me through. The rest must have come in after me. Other than that, I don't know. Oh, so I only need to open a portal to your server to get you back? That's not too hard. Give me 15 minutes, I can get it done. Oh, I will need the IP address of the server, though. Oh, thanks. And the IP is... Okay, I'll tell you when it's ready. At this, Tommy stood up and walked to a different part of the clearing. After 20 minutes, Tommy finished the portal and everyone but Green, Exuma, and Mumbo walked through. Dream stops the trio and begins to speak. So, I know I probably didn't make the best impression, but I'm hoping that I can change that. You and your group are welcome here at any time. Green backs away and looks at Tommy sheepishly. How do I end a conversation? Just saying bye seems weird. How would I know? I'm not any better at social interactions. Tommy responded, looking bewildered. Green laughed at Tommy's statement. Well, we're not called the hermits for our social skills. Let's leave it at bye and avoid any more embarrassment. We can work with that. After the two groups said goodbye, the trio walked through the portal and Tommy let go of the energy needed to keep it open. Rumbu then stepped out of the forest. Okay then, that was a train wreck I'm not going to ask about. Good idea. Tommy nodded, walking back to his campsite. I'ma go lay down. Too much social interaction. Laughter and calls of mood could be heard all the way down the beach. Chapter 7. Fun Days Past. Uncle! Uncle! Uptime! Uptime! 4-year-old Fundy was jumping on 13-year-old Tommy's bed. Wilbur, who was watching from the doorframe, was trying not to giggle as Tommy tried to go back to sleep. That's when Fundy decided to jump on Tommy's stomach. Ow! You little gremlin! Tommy shot up. Fundy jumped off the bed, giggling. You can't catch me. Ha! Try me, sea princess. As Wilbur turned away and walked downstairs, he smiled. It was only a year ago that he learned he had a child, but he wouldn't give up the source of laughter upstairs. Fundy's puberty would be coming soon, Tommy realized. As the two grew older, they grew closer, whether that be from Wilbur never being there, or just because of the bond the two created. Over the years, Fundy went to Tommy for hybrid advice. Fundy was the only person who knew that Tommy was a shapeshifter, or a shafter, as Fundy used to say. Tommy was sitting at the desk in their room when he heard a soft knock on the door. Come in! Toms, can we talk? Fundy stood at the doorway. They were fidgeting with their hands and looked apprehensive. Oh, of course. Sit down. Tommy leaned back in his chair and tried to look as nonchalantly as he could. Well, I just wanted to say, I'm not a sea princess. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. In that case, are you comfortable telling me your new pronouns and your new name, if you have one? Wait, you're not surprised? Fundy had a look of shock. I am a shapeshifter. That means I can change my body to whatever sex I want. I don't see why others shouldn't be able to do the same. Oh, well, I'm still Fundy, but I use he, him now. Thank you for telling me. It must have taken a lot of courage. I'm so proud of you. Can I call you Sea Prince, or do I need to find another nickname? I like Sea Prince. Thank you. This is normal human decency. Now, hug time? Hug time. Right before Tommy and Fundy joined Wilbur in a place called the DSMP, Tommy wanted to make sure that Fundy had everything he wanted. Tommy had already agreed to be co-admin of the server, but Fundy knew nothing of the server and wanted to start over. Today was the first day that Fundy would be trying on everything. Tommy helped him with putting on everything and made sure everything looked good. As Fundy turned around to look in the mirror, he saw himself, his true self. His chest was flat and he felt right in his body. Turning around with tears in his eyes, he made eye contact with Tommy and spoke. This is me. This is the true me. Tommy's next words would be forever etched into his memory. With a proud smile on his face, Tommy calmly replied, Well, it's about time you showed yourself to the world. So, you ready to kick it with me, brother? Chapter 8. Carl? Part 1. One morning, as Tommy was just waking up, he heard a crash and a thud from outside his tent. Rushing outside, he saw Carl laying in the grass. He ran over to the older man and visually looked for injuries. Seeing none, he squatted down to check Carl's vital signs. Before he touched Carl, he asked, I don't know if you're awake, but can I touch you to check you for injuries? If you aren't awake, I'm going to anyway. Getting no response, Tommy checked the other's vital signs with a worried expression. He might not know Carl that much, but he still cared about everyone on the server. After feeling that Carl's heartbeat and breathing were normal, Tommy just assumed that Carl passed out. For what reason, Tommy didn't know, but seeing as any mob carried Carl at the tree line into the forest, Tommy carried Carl into the house Ghostbird made. Setting Carl down on the bed, Tommy made sure that Carl wasn't injured. After seeing no serious injuries, Tommy went into creative mode to get a healing potion. Tommy thought about it on the trip carrying Carl to the house. You see, Tommy doesn't like to use creative that much because it's unfair to others, but seeing as he couldn't know if Carl had an internal injury, he grabbed a healing potion from creative. Changing his game mode back, he wondered how he was going to get Carl to drink the potion. As he was thinking, he heard Dream calling out to him. Walking out of the house, he called over to Dream. Dream! I need your help over here! Dream, hearing the worry in his voice, jogged over. What's the matter? So, earlier I heard a thud, so I went and checked it out. Turned out to be Carl. He passed out on the edge of the train line. I brought him to the house. He doesn't have any extra enemies, but I was going to give him a healing potion for any internal ones. I don't know how to give it to him though, since he's unconscious. Okay, that's a lot to take in, but let's deal with it one thing at a time. So first things first, let's get a healing potion in him. I'll show you how to do that with someone who isn't awake or has a choking hazard. Dream grabbed a clean hand towel and soaked it in the healing potion. He then opened Carl's mouth and let the healing potion slowly drip into it. After about half the healing potion was gone, Dream stopped. Okay, that should be enough for now. When you eat dinner, give him the rest. Now, do you want me to hang around or do you want me to leave? I need time to think, so alone time, please. That's perfectly fine. Remember, it's okay to have alone time. You don't always have to spend time with others, even if talking to others is a big part of your personality. Yeah, I know. Now shoot, Huntag. After Dream left, Tommy sat on a chair next to Carl. He soon got antsy, so he got up and went to his tent. After a couple of minutes of searching through his chest, he found his art supplies. It wasn't much. A sketchbook, a pencil case with some pencils, some erasers, colored pencils, and markers. Holding all of his stuff, Tommy walked back to the house Carl was staying at. Hours later, Tommy put down the sketchbook. Looking out the window, he sees it's about dinner time. After eating some bread and steak, he gives Carl the last of the potion. He then tucks Carl into bed and grabs an extra blanket for himself. Making himself as comfortable as he can in his chair, he slowly drifts off to sleep. Chapter 9. Carl? Part 2. As Tommy started to wake up, he soon realized that he wasn't in his bed. Opening his eyes, he saw he was still in the chair, with a wide-awake Carl looking at him. Hi? Tommy asked, voice slurred with sleep. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but could you tell me where I am? And who you are? Oh, this is Logshershire. You probably wouldn't know of it, but I am Tommy in it, and I was exiled from Lamberg, thus why I am here. Also, why don't you remember me? I know we only talked like once, but you've been on the server for a good bit of time. Of course, if you are uncomfortable answering, just tell me and I won't push. Oh, sorry to hear about your exile. And for why I don't remember? Promise not to laugh or call me crazy? Of course. Well, when I first joined the server, I think, I had the ability to time travel. So I have been. But the more I go into the past and, well, change things, the more I lose my memories of before. Oh, okay. So how about we start over? Hi, I'm Tommy in it, and I'm co-admin of the server. I share adminship with Dream. I found you passed out a little bit inside the tree line and healed you. You got any questions? No? Okay then. If you do at any time, just ask and I'll answer to the best of my ability. Now, I'm gonna go make breakfast. Are you allergic to anything? Not that I know of. Okay, I'll let you know when to come outside to eat. For now, just rest up a bit. Carl watched as Tommy walked out the doors of the room. For a little bit he remembers before his time travel, Tommy was really loud. So was he different, or was he just acting the first time? And he's co-admin? That's normally a position only given to an admin's closest friends. So either Dream is different from other admins, or him and Tommy have known each other for a long time. Carl sighs and started to stand up. He needs to get ready for the day, even if he doesn't know what's going to happen. About 30 minutes later, Tommy calls into the house saying that breakfast is ready. Carl grins. Carl got a shower done, which felt so good to have hot water for a shower again. He also got his hair brushed and a new set of clothes. What he was wearing was basically a t-shirt version of his hoodie, some light brown track pants, and some black tennis shoes. As Carl looked into the mirror, he felt nice. Now, go outside and eat. When he got outside, he saw that Tommy had made eggs and potatoes for breakfast. Sitting on one of the logs, he grabbed his plate when Tommy handed it to him. Nodding his thanks, he started to eat. Both boys ate in silence till footsteps could be heard. Carl looked at Tommy quizzically until he heard someone calling out, Yo, Tommy, where you at? I'm over here. Carl woke up, so I made breakfast. By the way, he knows. Carl watched as Dream came into view. Dream then plopped down on the last log in the triangle around the fire. Oh, good. I do not have the energy to act like I hate people today. Mood. Tommy and Dream then made gentle conversation. It wasn't small talk, but it wasn't filled with emotions, just background noise while Carl was thinking. So Dream acts like he hates everyone. Tommy does too? Wait, what are they talking about? Fighting styles? Cool. I wonder if one of them could teach me how to fight. Worth asking at least. Sorry for interrupting you two, but I heard your peps talking about fighting styles, and was wondering if one of you might train me to fight. I don't know that much about fighting and don't want to be caught off guard one day. I would love to teach you to fight. Tommy looked cheerful. It'd probably be better for me to teach you how to fight. I know more weapons than Dream does. Wait, you would really teach me? Of course. I can't have you running around on the server unable to properly fight back if I can help it. Smiling, Carl nodded his thanks and the trio fell into more gentle conversation. Sure, more communication was needed, but for now, Carl was happy. Chapter 10. Carl? Part 3. The next 3 months felt like torture to Carl. At first, Tommy only taught him the basic stances. Then, when he memorized those, Tommy sparred with him using wooden dowels. Carl always left practice with bruises. He was constantly sore, not only from sparring, but from the workout that Tommy did with him. About 3 weeks after Tommy first started teaching Carl, did Carl win a match. Good job, Carl. Now, the real fun begins. Carl soon realized that sparring with wooden dowels was the easy part. Tommy used the same techniques to teach Carl different weapons. First, you practice getting used to the weapon and the stances needed to use the weapon properly. Then you practice with an inanimate object. Then you spar with Tommy. Sometimes Dream or Rambu popped in and trained with them, most of the time just doing the workout. Rambu popping in is why they now practice in the admin space. But anyways, back to the montage. Tommy trained Carl to use swords, axes, Dream taught this weapon, hoes, bows, staffs, and tridents. Turns out Carl is best at using a trident. Tommy's main weapon is actually a hoe with a longer handle, so basically a scythe. Dream, of course, uses an axe as his main weapon. Ranboo uses a bow, which Carl found ironic seeing as Ranboo is part Enderman. But that takes us to the present day. Carl wakes up to his home in Lancashire. No one knows where his main house is, so he just decided to build a vacation home in Lancashire, easier than taking an hour walk through the Nether each day. He still needs to go to L'Manberg each day, but Ranboo always TPs him there. Turns out that Ranboo has a shop in L'Manberg. He steals stuff that is near impossible to get, whether it be because stuff is really far off, or you can't get it without Silk Touch. Carl talked to Tommy about it, and apparently Dream and Tommy only have one rule for the shop: no spawners, shulkers, or elytra. It seemed like a fair rule to Carl. This way no elytra fly rule would be broken, and the richer can't get a hold of shulkers to get even richer. Snapping out of his mind, Carl shakes his head and gets up to get ready for the day. An hour passes, and Carl is ready for breakfast. Ever since Carl moved here, him and Tommy switched days to make breakfast. Today was Tommy's turn, and Carl was glad. Turns out Tommy's a good cook. Carl, not so much. When Carl got outside, he saw Tommy making pancakes. Sitting down, he turned to face Tommy. So, any plans apart from training today? Actually, I need to speak to everyone in our little group. Could you message them while I finish up breakfast? Oh, yeah, sure. Be aware. Time at everyone. Tommy says that he needs to talk to us all. He's finishing breakfast now, so come and get some pancakes while they're still hot. No one even bothered to reply because in the next minute both Ranboo and Dream were there. Tommy learned that food is the best incentive. After everyone had their fill of pancakes, Tommy spoke up. So, I have two things I want to talk about. One of these things Dream already knows about. Okay, Carl, Ranboo, how would you feel about being co-admins with me and Dream? Wait, really? Both boys exclaimed. Yes, we both talked about this, and you two would be great additions to the leadership of the server. But don't think you have to do this. We won't think of you differently if you don't. And you have time to think about this too. You don't have to make the decision right now. Dream talked this time. Carl and Ranboo just looked at each other. Turning back around, they said their answers at the same time. Yes, we accept.